Hi everybody, it's Natasha from Mystic Wisdom and Treasures here on YouTube. Today we're going to be looking at what's going on in the collective consciousness. Currently we are in the month of September. I believe that we are all connected in spirit to the divine, or whatever name you want to give it. I'm going to call it the divine or the universe, but whatever title resonates for you. Instead of a pick a card video, this tarot spread is again for the collective consciousness, so people as a whole and whoever has clicked on this video. Alright, without further ado, I want to hop right into it. These are the cards that I have drawn for this collective message. And let me show you what we have. So, the first card was the Four of Cups. Then the Seven of Cups. The King of Cups. The Five of Swords. The Nine of Cups. The Two of Pentacles. And the Four of Swords. And the Seven of Pentacles. I thought I was on the last card for a second. So, right away when I'm looking at this, the thing that first comes to me is sense of wholeness within the self, and also with this Five of Swords card, I think about new beginnings, an ending of an old cycle and the start of a new one. When I'm looking at these cards, especially the Four of Cups right here, I'm thinking of trust within yourself, trusting yourself. I feel like as a collective, many people have probably just been faced with a big decision where they just had to close one chapter and now they're beginning a new one. But this is a lesson in self-development. I'm feeling like the lessons that just occurred were to bring you closer to yourself and your wholeness. I'm also getting the word assertiveness. So truly trusting in yourself, trusting in your own sense of self is what Spirit is telling me. Evaluating your emotions, leaving behind the old and going really within and starting fresh with this new acquired knowledge. Painful endings are often the disguise of fresh new beginnings, and in our life we have to go through many different lessons that our soul has agreed to before we come into this physical body. And many of these lessons are karmic lessons, or I also like to call them soul contract lessons, because you can have a soul contract, and I also believe in the situations themselves that you set to agree to before you were born with Spirit. And right now I'm feeling like I'm getting the metaphor of shedding the snake skin, shedding the old skin, and the process may have felt painful or difficult, but I'm really feeling like this was something that had to be done. when I look at the Four of Swords card right here, what comes to me is I'm feeling like many people out there probably had to disconnect from people that may not have been healthy in their life, or walking away from someone you may have been close to, or really like seeing the truth in people and cutting out dishonest connections. But I'm seeing with clearing out the old, it's leaving room for the new, for fresh new ideas, projects of success. Especially I'm feeling right now like creative pathways and manifesting this and creative abundance in this way. This doesn't necessarily have to mean like financial abundance, but I'm feeling like a lot of fresh new ideas, exciting things coming. No longer needing this focus on the old patterns, the old connections that were no longer serving you. Those had to fall away because you needed to be on this new path. Lots of feelings are coming to me about drawing the line within a connection with somebody. This could be a friendship, a relationship. Sometimes that even means family, really anybody in your life that you have a bond to. And feeling like, and collectively, many people have had to set their boundaries or walk away from certain connections in their life. And really trusting in their decisions and retreating into their own emotion, into your own emotions. With the Two of Pentacles in this reading specifically, it feels more like self-reflection. Asking yourself, do I really trust myself? Is like being in this part of your self-development where you had to make this decision and you had to question your own judgment and really trust in your own judgment and principles and lessons that you've learned to have this mindset so far. Standing strong, I'm feeling from the King of Cups. Protecting something, whether this is assets, I felt the need to say assets, or really the self. When I'm looking at the King of Cups, I'm really getting this sense of I feel like there may have been a situation that had provoked strong emotions, maybe even some anger, maybe even some conflict or inner conflict, where you really had to ask yourself whether this was healthy for you or not anymore, whether this or not this was serving you anymore, and you really needed to take that leap and disconnect or walk away from whatever this situation was, or maybe even this relationship. Again, whether it's friends, family, a loved one, a relationship. I'm feeling from the Five of Swords card over here. And the collective right now is really a time, and even pairing it with the Four of Cups card over here, what I'm really feeling is that right now is the time to really go deep within and like evaluate your values. With all the lessons that you've learned up to this date, I feel like maybe even like the past year or so really was a big focus, a lot of lessons, a lot of growth, and right now it's kind of coming even though maybe some people may be going through a tough situation where they had to put an end to something, I feel like it's taking all those lessons, even throughout your life or maybe the past few months, even, and it's the end of an old phase and the beginning of a new phase, depending on what you do with this new mindset, with this new sense of boundaries, with this new profound knowledge that you've gained over the past couple or few months or maybe even year or two. It's kind of like, I don't really like to say the word test right now, but I'll say that because that's what I'm getting. It's kind of like a test of what all you've accumulated within the past 2 months, few months, past year. It's really accumulating that, and it's at the end of the line, and you had to make a decision, or you have to make a decision what way you're going to go, and calling upon your strength, questioning what you value, especially when it comes to your own inner compass. This is a time of making decisions that are right for you as opposed to necessarily the group I'm feeling. It's a time of calling your boundaries and really valuing your own sense of inner peace, your own boundaries. It's strength in oneself. And I feel with all this water energy within the King of Cups, within the Four of Cups, within the Nine of Cups, I'm really sensing like there might be even a buildup of anger somewhere. And this doesn't necessarily resonate with everybody. That doesn't have to apply with them. I mean, this is just the message I'm getting for someone who's watching this within the collective. And this is one aspect of the collective that I'm seeing. Or a buildup of emotion and a lot of emotional reflection. I feel like it's this time of making judgment calls and taking action and assertiveness in your life. And I'm feeling like the old is filtering out to leave room for the new. The Seven of Cups, I'm really getting like, this is the fresh, like from this and this reading specifically to me, I'm feeling like this represents the newness. So you've just completed an old cycle. You let go, or you're letting go of the old, and now you're seeing this abundance of something, and it could be creative projects. And I'm also feeling like new starts, fresh new starts, new beginnings, and it feels like a positive beginning, maybe a painful or frustrating or sad end, but I'm feeling like this was the pathway that had to happen in order to start this new chapter in your life. Yes, so in comparing the Four of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, what I'm seeing is really going deep within and making the judgment call based on the lessons you've learned recently from maybe the past year, maybe even longer, or maybe even shorter than that. All you've accumulated, and again, putting an end to something. And I'm especially feeling like an old phase has finally hit it's finally, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, come to a close. And it's really I feel like more so that judgment call for many people has already happened by the time you clicked on this video. And it's about starting this new cycle. I'm really feeling the collective message of this new cycle, and Spirit is really showing like this was set up in your like a soul contract. This was meant to happen because it's the end of this old growth cycle and the start to fresh new things, positive new things, abundant things, and a new cycle of growth is beginning. And I'm getting a really positive feeling from this new cycle of growth. Where the last one, I feel like you may have been leaving old connections or things that no longer served you, shedding that snake skin. And for this new one, I feel you really like starting this new path, taking off, kind of like reminds me of the Fool card in Tarot. This new journey ahead, this excitement, and again, releasing that old. And I feel like many of you actually feel a weight lifted off of you because of this. New options opening up to you. I see within the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Releasing anger, dishonest connections, releasing those. Your mind might be more sharp towards people for some of you right now. And that could also be some of the energy of Virgo season, because Virgo is a very analytical sign as a whole, generally. And I'm feeling like this is a really analytical time too. And again, making those judgment calls, and I feel like our thoughts might be slightly critical, but I see that being released and transmuted into more loving energy. Not that you're not loving. I don't want to come off like you're not at all. That's not my intention, but yeah. There's a lot of emotional energy, a lot of emotional closing. Like, I feel a lot of emotions that have risen or rising or might be heightened around this time. Self-reflection, judgment calls, cutting away or walking away from connections that have reached the end of the line for your soul in its lessons and growing. Remember that although it's natural to feel frustrated with people, I'm strongly getting this feeling that this was sent for a higher good. And one thing I want to share too, and something that I'm always learning and have learned, especially over the past year, is about remembering that even the people that have hurt you or angered you, they're still part of you in a way, because we're all collective. This is a collective reading. We're all connected to the divine. We are all one in a sense. We are all aspects of the great one, the great universe, the divine energy. We're all connected, even if we may be angry towards each other. And I always feel like on a higher level with our higher selves, that's not how it's necessarily seen in that manner. Like, from a soul level, I feel like we've chosen these connections in the physical so that we may experience the lessons that our soul wanted to know and wanted to grow. And there's people that are sent into our life to challenge us in order to reach these lessons for a greater good. So it's easy to feel resentful of the people that hurt us, and definitely it's okay to process through those emotions, but try to remember not to hold on to them, and remember that everyone you meet is like an aspect of yourself on a greater level. And to let them go with love, to let them go with empathy, to release situations in a live and let live manner, not to hold on to the bitterness, to think, even though people might do things that hurt us or challenge us or make us sad, angry, upset, um, it's important to remember that we're all human, we all make mistakes, and we're all at different areas in our self-development. There's going to be things that person knows that you don't, and you do that they don't, or you both have your own paths. It doesn't mean that one's right and one's wrong. It's just your own unique journey and the lessons that you set out to learn. But again, I feel like in the collective right now is like an old phase has come to its head and the new one is beginning, and this one is exciting. This is an abundant, really good time. I'm feeling like you've released the old so the new can come in. These new bright beginnings, these new bright things, this new pathway in your journey. But this pathway had to start, and when one door closes, another door opens. So remember to try to release the old so you can invite more of the new, because I feel the more you are stuck on the old, the less room you have for the exciting pathways that your soul has agreed to before you came into this physical body. So I'm feeling like all of this is bringing you closer to yourself, especially in regards to lessons of self-worth and self-love, and really like understanding what your values are and upholding those, and asking yourself, retreating yourself, asking those questions about things, those hard questions, and answering honestly and acting authentically. And this doesn't necessarily even always have to deal with other people. It can be situations too, but I'm feeling like for a lot of people it's like coming to terms with something that's happened and closing an old cycle of your life once again, because this new one has begun. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing like the sun rising, so the nighttime is over, the sun's rising into a brand new day, and the past is gone. And I believe that's all I have for you today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this collective message. If you enjoyed this video and it resonated with you, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can also hit the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I release new content. I hope you all have a lovely day. Yeah.